One day, as I went outside to hang the laundry, I noticed mackerel clouds in the sky, a sure sign of fall's arrival. It looks like it's going to be another hot day, I thought to myself, and my gaze inadvertently drifted towards a separate house. On the same property as our home, there is this separate house where my son Michael, his wife Sophia, and their son Liam, a family of 3, live. It seems that every time Sophia comes to our house, she takes with her household items such as toilet paper, detergent, and shampoo, and even money from my wallet without my knowledge. However, since I had never witnessed such incidents and had no concrete proof, I couldn't say anything. The household expenses were rapidly depleting, so I decided to take up a part-time job. Of course, I tried talking to Michael about Sophia's behavior, but he wouldn't take it seriously. Therefore, we decided to have a discussion when my husband David, who is working away from home, returns once a month. The meeting would include my husband, myself, Michael, and our grandson Liam. It seems Sophia will join us later. I mentioned that money was disappearing from my wallet.
Are you saying Sophia did this? Let's not exaggerate.
At that moment, David quietly placed his smartphone on the table and displayed footage from the surveillance camera installed in our home. On the screen, in a well-lit corner of the living room, Sophia was caught red-handed. She had found my wallet in my bag, extracted a few bills, and returned the wallet to its place. Michael was taken aback.
But I've been giving her enough for living expenses. Why would she do this?
Even after all this, don't you notice anything? Michael seemed startled by my words. He stormed out of the house, heading straight for the separate house. He dragged her back to our house. There, Sophia was shown the surveillance footage, and her face turned pale. My name is Lisa Smith. I'm a 60-year-old homemaker. My husband, David, is away on business, and he only returns about once a month. Both of us are well past the midpoint of our lives, and we'd like to live peacefully. However, it seems that's not so straightforward. When David was assigned to work alone, he seemed a bit disappointed and confided in me quietly.
Lisa, I've been assigned to work alone, so I'll be living by myself starting next month. They want me to oversee the team at the new branch office.
David has always been admired at work for being a caring and brotherly figure. Indeed, he is very attentive, not just at work, but also at home. I remember when our son Michael was just born, David eagerly took on tasks like preparing milk and changing diapers. Even though he couldn't take parental leave, he made sure to nap with Michael on weekends and during summer vacations. As Michael grew up, David taught him and took him to the park regularly. So, it's unusual to see dependable David feeling down like this. David, you don't need to be so disheartened. After all, you can come back soon, right? I had assumed he'd return in roughly 2 to 3 months.
That's the thing. I don't know exactly how long it'll be. Since it involves crossing state lines, I won't be able to see you frequently. I'll only be able to come back about once a month, and that's why I'm worried about you.
Why was he concerned about my well-being? For a moment, I wondered, but then it hit me. I have a chronic illness, and I'd recently undergone surgery. Perhaps he was worried about how this might affect me. It's okay. Michael and Sophia are nearby in the separate house, and if anything happens, I'll get in touch. On our property, there's a separate house where Michael, his wife Sophia, and their son Liam live. Michael got married 6 years ago and initially lived in an apartment for about 2 to 3 years. However, due to the landlord's circumstances, he had to move out of the apartment. Eventually, they came to ask if they could live in the separate house. David was not keen on the idea and initially refused.
Michael, you know Mom has health issues. I don't want to burden her, so I'm against it.
Once, David had turned him away with those words, but when there was less than a month left until eviction, Michael returned. He looked considerably weakened.
Dad, please, I won't cause any more trouble. Just let us live in the separate house.
Perhaps his perspective had changed by then, as David consented to Michael's family living in the separate house. When I later asked for the reason, David explained that he felt more at ease having them close by, rather than leaving me alone. It's been about 3 years since then, and there's no sign of them leaving. They continue to reside in the separate house. To reassure David, I put on a cheerful tone. I'm fine. The post-surgery recovery is going well, and I'm taking my medication properly. David suggested installing surveillance cameras.
Let's add some security cameras. The newer ones have better performance and even come with temperature sensors, which could help prevent heat stroke.
You're worrying too much. I chuckled, trying to ease his worries. Later, David did indeed set up surveillance cameras, linking them to an app on his smartphone. I was surprised at first, but since they were positioned high up, they didn't bother me much. Within a week, David left reluctantly, and now I live alone in a house that feels almost too spacious. By the way, I hadn't mentioned this to David, but there was something bothering me. It concerned Michael's wife, Sophia. Despite being a full-time homemaker, she frequently left Liam with me and went out somewhere. Occasionally meeting up with mom friends for lunch is understandable, but was it really necessary to do so that often? Moreover, when Liam occasionally came to our house with her, she always seemed to take something with her.
Lisa, I'm taking some toilet paper with me.
At first, it was just that, so I didn't pay much attention. But gradually, it escalated to household items like detergent, shampoo, and body wash. There was even a time when she tried to take some dishes. She did return the dishes, but still, it was odd. Sophia, are you struggling financially to the point where you can't afford basic items?
Huh? No, not at all.
Well then, why do you feel the need to take things from our home?
It's about saving. With Liam around, there'll be additional expenses down the line. I want to start saving now. So, I thought you'd be supportive, and maybe even provide a little extra assistance.
She said it nonchalantly, waved her hand flippantly, and went out again. Sophia was always stylish, talked about going to esthetician appointments, and even had her nails done. But was she truly saving money as she claimed? Michael works diligently from early morning until late at night, and there have been no discussions about financial difficulties. Although I'm curious about her intentions, I refrain from meddling in my son's marital affairs. I don't want to be an overbearing mother-in-law. Meanwhile, my wallet has been gradually losing money, and I suspect Sophia might be behind it. However, lacking concrete evidence and unable to catch her in the act, time slips away. One day, as I went outside to hang the laundry, I noticed mackerel clouds in the sky, a sure sign of fall's arrival. It looks like it's going to be another hot day, I thought to myself, and my gaze inadvertently drifted towards a separate house. Curiously, I've never witnessed Sophia behaving suspiciously, even though I still wonder if she's involved. However, various neighbors have shared unfavorable rumors about her. They claim she walks around town dressed as if she's going to a nightclub, or seen walking intimately with a young man, but I'm quite skeptical. Indeed, she is fashionable, but I've only ever seen her in outfits that one would find in fashion magazines, and she doesn't strike me as someone who would have an affair. Even when she's at the separate house, there are times she's just in her pajamas, so I simply can't imagine Sophia gallivanting about. However, the fact that there are people who have actually witnessed her behavior suggests that there might be an unknown side to Sophia that I'm unaware of. Even as I kept an eye out, money continued to disappear from my wallet. As my living expenses dwindled, I decided to start working part-time until I could gather concrete evidence. I told David it was for a change of pace, but he worried quite a bit. Eventually, he agreed under the condition that I wouldn't overexert myself. Fortunately, I noticed a nearby supermarket hiring cashiers, so I contacted them and went for an interview. Just to be sure, I discussed it with Michael as well. As the day of my first shift approached, I informed Michael, "Michael, listen, I'll be starting a part-time job next week."
Why? You just got out of the hospital, and your body is still recovering.
It's only about 3 days a week. I'll be fine. But more importantly, it's about Sophia. I decided to take a chance and talk to Michael about Sophia's behavior, thinking he might say something that could lead to some progress.
What's wrong with Sophia?
Well, lately, she's been taking things from my home, like toilet paper, shampoo, and other everyday items. Could it be that you're having financial difficulties? But Michael was clearly upset.
That's not true. I consistently contribute money every month, and Sophia handles the finances. She used to work in accounting, after all. So, she manages our household expenses properly.
Well, is that so? But she really is taking things from my home. And about the money.
Money? Are you saying Sophia is taking it?
Michael looked at me with a puzzled expression. Yes, little by little, money is disappearing from my wallet. She probably thinks she hasn't been caught yet, but this ongoing situation is troubling for me. Could you subtly mention it to her too?
Mom, are you losing your mind? Even so, that's impossible.
Michael sighed heavily, seemingly unwilling to believe me, and from then on, he wouldn't entertain any further discussion. The next day, I informed Sophia about my decision to start working part-time and explained that it would be difficult for me to continue looking after Liam. This conversation happened just when Sophia had asked if I could take care of Liam for her. Sophia scowled and complained.
Huh? Then who will look after Liam?
Sophia, let me be clear. Please take care of your own child. Why do you always leave Liam with me and go somewhere? Where are you going? When I asserted myself, Sophia let out a small sigh and glared at me.
Fine, fine. I understand. I won't ask anymore.
Without answering my question, she pulled Liam's hand and retreated into the separate house. Nervous, I felt a cold sweat on my back. From that day on, only Liam would come over, cheerfully calling,
"Grandma, let's play."
I welcomed Liam into the house, exasperated by Sophia's predictable absence. Perhaps once I started my part-time job, she would change her ways. With that faint hope, I spent the week. And then came my first day at work. The short shift ran from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Having been a homemaker for so long, I felt nervous returning to work. Despite the simple title of cashier, the responsibilities and learning curve were multifaceted. Armed with a notepad and pen, I learned the ropes from a young female cashier. She was in her 20s, far more composed than I was, and efficiently explained everything, from loyalty cards to self-checkout. Her name tag also bore a golden badge that read Customer Service Master, and her demonstration of register procedures was impressive. There were so many things I needed to learn that my mind was spinning. I have to get this down pat, I told myself as I made my way home, finally reaching the gate of my house. As I rummaged through my bag for the house key, I noticed Liam standing in front of my gate. Curious, I approached him cautiously. Unaware that my previous thoughts had vanished, I called out to him, "Liam, what are you doing here?" Startled by his name, Liam looked up. Tears welled in his eyes, and his runny nose accompanied his sobs. Surprised, I quickly retrieved a pocket tissue from my bag and wiped away his tears and mucus. "What's wrong? Did something sad happen?" Liam explained that he had been waiting here all day for me to come out of the house. But since I hadn't emerged, he asked his mother.
"Grandma isn't here because she went to work."
Upon hearing this, Liam felt devastated and had been crying here. He looked up at me with his runny nose and tear-streaked face.
Why did Grandma have to leave? Is it because of my job that I can't play with you anymore?
I was taken aback by his words. Job? What job are you talking about? Liam handed me a small piece of paper, saying,
This?
Unfolding it, I read Sophia's handwriting. Liam's job: transfer money from Grandma's wallet to Mom's wallet once a day. The instruction left me wide-eyed. Huh? I stammered, staring alternately at the words and Liam's face. Trembling, I asked, Liam, did Mom tell you to do this? He nonchalantly replied,
Yep. Mom said it's my job. I'm supposed to be responsible. Mom gave me this paper.
While my face almost twitched with the effort, I managed to invite Liam inside, where he gulped down juice. His innocent enjoyment contrasted sharply with my shock. I couldn't believe that Sophia would involve such a young child in stealing money. Could this really be happening? I had no concrete evidence. When could this have happened? I've been keeping an eye on Liam all along, and it's not easy to lose sight of a 5-year-old. How could he have taken money from my wallet without me noticing? Suddenly, something clicked in my mind. That night, I contacted David and explained the situation.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not accusing Liam, but I'll check the surveillance camera footage.
David listened attentively without any doubt. 3 days later, he contacted me.
Hello, Lisa. I've discovered something serious.
What? I was taken aback. It seemed Liam was indeed the culprit, but what shocked me even more was that the surveillance footage captured Sophia instructing Liam on how to take money from my wallet. Indeed, I hadn't told her about the surveillance camera, but even so, to steal someone's money in broad daylight is just outrageous.
I am planning to visit you this weekend. This is unacceptable. Let's talk to Michael and Sophia.
Yes, that's right, I replied, my heart heavy. But now that I knew the truth, I had to address it properly. Despite spending these days leading up to the weekend in a somber mood, the distraction of my part-time job allowed me to momentarily forget the situation. And so, the weekend arrived. Although the weather forecast had predicted a direct hit from a typhoon, it veered westward, leaving our area with clear skies. However, despite the sunny weather, a storm brewed within our home. David took an earlier train than usual to discuss the matter. His expression showed traces of weariness, yet an unmistakable anger simmered beneath the surface. I sensed that today would be tumultuous. As soon as David returned, he walked toward the separate house and urgently summoned Michael and Sophia. However, only Michael and Liam arrived. Seated across the living room table, David and I faced Michael and Liam.
Michael, what's going on with Sophia? Didn't I tell her to come too?
Well, she said she'd come later.
The heavy atmosphere seemed to trip up Michael's response. As if mocking the tension, the ice cubes in the glass beside him clinked together.
I wanted to talk to her too. Actually, I especially wanted to talk to her. But never mind. First, I'll tell you, Sophia has been taking things from this house.
Michael looked taken aback.
I've heard that from Mom before. But it's not like she takes a lot or does it frequently, right? Besides, Sophia said she received those things from you, Mom.
Well, she may say she received them, but I didn't give them to her out of goodwill. She forcibly takes them, saying that she needs to save money for Liam's future expenses and that it would be okay for me to help out.
Huh? Is Sophia really doing something like that?
And about the money disappearing from my wallet.
Wait, are you saying Sophia is acting like a thief? Enough with the jokes.
At that moment, David pulled out his smartphone and placed it quietly on the table.
This isn't a joke. There's evidence of Sophia instructing Liam to take money, and the surveillance footage shows Liam removing money from Lisa's wallet every day.
Michael looked stunned. On the screen, in a bright corner of our living room, Sophia rummaged through my bag, found my wallet, and discreetly removed several bills before returning the wallet to my bag. She then showed the money to Liam, crouching down as if teaching him something. Although the conversation was fragmented, it revolved around.
Money is like this. Take this much from Grandma's wallet.
Liam nodded resolutely.
Got it.
And Sophia hugged him tightly. Watching this scene unfold, Michael was left speechless, fixated on David's smartphone screen. David explained.
This footage is from the surveillance camera I installed due to concerns about Lisa's illness. I never imagined it would be useful in such a way. Besides, there's more. The footage shows Liam taking money from Lisa's wallet.
David manipulated his smartphone, displaying another video. Although I couldn't pinpoint when Liam had been taking money, this footage finally revealed the truth. As I stood up to take my medication, Liam swiftly extracted cash from my wallet. The timing coincided with my regular medication schedule, making it easy for even a young child like Liam.
What? I trusted her.
It's despicable to involve an innocent child in wrongdoing. She should be ashamed.
David, who rarely displayed anger, spoke sternly. Michael flinched, and Liam looked visibly distressed.
But I provide enough for living expenses. Why would you do this, Liam?
Liam hesitated before answering.
Mom's job is giving money to a man, so she said it's not enough.
A man?
Yeah, Mom always puts on makeup and goes somewhere. But I'm not allowed to go. So I stay with Grandma.
Michael scrutinized Liam with suspicion. His expression conveyed confusion, Could Sophia be involved in an affair? The room was charged with tension. Even after all I've said, you still don't get it? Michael, startled by my words, bolted out of the house with a furious look, dashed towards the separate house, and before I knew it, he was dragging Sophia back with him.
Hey, that hurts. Let go.
Sophia protested, while Liam, bewildered by the situation, looked on, his eyes welling up with tears.
Sophia, what's going on? Explain. Why would you steal money from Mom's wallet when I provide enough for living expenses? And why involve Liam in this?
Sophia stared at Michael, her expression a mix of shock and evasion. Her eyes seemed to ask how he knew.
What are you talking about? Is there any proof that I did such a thing?
Although Sophia dismissed the idea of evidence, Michael presented David's smartphone, placing it on the table.
This is the evidence. You had Liam do the same, right? The footage shows Liam taking money from Mom's wallet every day. And during the day, where were you, leaving Liam with Mom? Were you having an affair with a man?
Sophia's face turned pale as she watched the screen. Perhaps realizing the jig was up, she clung to Michael, confessing that it wasn't infidelity but rather her frequent visits to an escort club.
I'm sorry. At first, it was just for fun. Liam and I spend so much time alone during the day, and the stress of having Lisa nearby was suffocating. I thought I'd do it just once for a change.
But it escalated. Once a month, twice, 3 times. She got deeper and deeper into it.
I had no choice. I wanted to have fun too. But for that, I needed money. I wanted to spend it on my favorite man. I can't work because of Liam, and the allowance Michael gives me isn't nearly enough.
Even so, stealing money from Mom's wallet is no different from being a thief.
I apologize. I won't go anymore. I won't visit the escort club anymore. I'll return the stolen money. Please forgive me. I beg you.
Sophia pleaded tearfully with Michael, but he seemed furious and unyielding.
No! Absolutely not. We're getting a divorce.
But
despite her tearful pleas, Michael remained resolute, eventually serving her with divorce papers. I had been keeping notes on the amount of money lost, so I used that information to create an itemized bill, which I handed over.
Huh? Is it that much?
She seemed surprised, but surely she was aware. Despite her attempts to negotiate and get me to relent, I declared that I wouldn't give up a single cent. Sophia, don't you think it's fortunate that I'm not filing a police report? Even though your family, repeatedly stealing like this would lead to immediate arrest. When I said this firmly, she fell silent, biting her lower lip, and left my presence. Additionally, during the divorce proceedings, Michael demanded alimony from Sophia. A colleague at work recently divorced and recommended a good lawyer. Surprisingly, even in this situation, rumors circulated that Sophia couldn't quit her escort club visits and had accumulated tens of thousands of dollars in debt. I couldn't fathom what drove her to such extremes, but it seemed only a matter of time before things spiraled out of control. As for me, now that I no longer need to work part-time, I quit the supermarket job and spent my days relaxing at home. Although the separate house remained unoccupied, Michael and Liam moved into the second floor of the main house. Michael obtained custody of Liam and became his guardian. My routine remained the same, looking after Liam while Michael worked during the day, but at least I no longer worried about money being taken. Liam will start kindergarten next year. I wonder if Michael has already gone through the procedure? I should ask to be sure, I muttered while flipping pancakes for lunch. Just then, David returned home. Yes, today marked the end of his business assignment, and he was finally back home. It had been weeks since I last saw his face, but he entered the living room with an unusually bright expression, clearly delighted.
I'm home.
Welcome back. Lunch is ready.
Welcome home, Grandpa.
And so began our life together, David, Michael, Liam, and me. It felt truly peaceful. Despite the lingering summer heat, fall was approaching. David, ever eager to play with the kids, suggested,
How about a maple leaf viewing trip during the upcoming long weekend?
I chuckled, considering his age, but I continued making pancakes for him.
How did you like our talk this time? Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.